What it means for Prince Harry, well, that's not really clear at this stage. We've had, as you might imagine, various conflicting statements from President Trump.
A court has ruled that Prince Harry's US immigration files must be released on Tuesday. In his autobiography, Spare, Harry made reference to illegal drug use, including taking cocaine, marijuana, and psychedelic mushrooms. Visa applicants are required to declare past drug use. The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank who made the FOI request, alleged that the Duke may have concealed past illegal drug use that should have seen him disqualified from getting his visa. Well, joining me now is Kate Mancy, assistant editor for The Times, specialising in royal writing and reporting. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us. What are we likely to learn from these papers then? How heavily redacted are they going to be?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? How much are we going to see? But this has been a long-running case now for a couple of years. So this Heritage Foundation, based in Washington, D.C., a conservative think tank, has decided that, we all need to know what was in his application form after the back of what he published himself in Spare. So he talks about taking cocaine from the age of 17 at friends' country houses. He talks about marijuana, saying cocaine didn't do much for him, but marijuana did really help. And then psychedelic mushrooms while in California at celebrity events and house parties there. So he's all put it on the table. So presumably he doesn't really have much to hide in terms of what will be revealed. It's just what the ramifications of that will be. Did he submit all that information in his application? That's what the Heritage Foundation wants to find out.
And I mean, how real is this in terms of his visa status? I mean, like the Beatles have been to America, for example, you know. So it doesn't necessarily seem to be the sort of thing that would get him kicked out of the country. But I suppose then the way the politics are going in the United States, it kind of might be.
Well, Trump has said he's not minded to kick him out. I mean, that was the sort of latest we've heard from him. It's no secret that Trump and the Sussexes aren't best pals. Meghan's made that quite clear, and Trump himself said that Meghan was terrible. He said Harry's got enough on his plate with that wife. She's terrible. So I don't think there's any kind of love lost there. Is Trump going to make an issue of it? I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what is in the files, what he submitted, and how much of that's going to be redacted, I think.
What is Prince Harry's, kind of popular status in the United States? Because, I mean, when they moved there, whenever it was sort of tail end of COVID, wasn't it? Was it before COVID? No, it was right, basically in the middle, I suppose.
They've been there. They left 5 years ago. It's 5 years since Megxit.
So right at the start.
That's right.
When they moved there, they were sort of extremely popular, and you had the sort of Americans kind of going, these are compared to your stuffy Prince William and Princess Kate you've still got in Britain. Is that still the case, or is that sort of tempered away a little bit?
The latest poll that we conducted for The Times showed that that had fallen away a little bit. They're not as popular as they were when they first went out there. Having said that, they've got this big Netflix deal. Meghan's new show seems to be going very well. It's in the kind of top charts there. So it's whether they can turn that around. And what the public reaction will be to these files when they're released will be more interesting, really, than the ramifications, because it doesn't seem as if Trump is going to use it to kick them out of the country.
Right. I mean, do you think there's really no chance of that?
I don't think he will. I mean, it'd be very awkward when he comes over here for his unprecedented second state visit with a kind of guest and here's your son, I'm afraid he's staying with
King
you.
Charles going, yes. Yeah, I can see that going down rather badly. Kate Mancy, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
Good to have you with us.
Now, the Duke of Sussex's immigration files must be made public by tomorrow. It's quite a complicated story here. A judge made that ruling as part of an ongoing freedom of information request that had been brought by a conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C. And why? Because in Prince Harry's book Spare, he made references to taking cocaine, marijuana and psychedelic mushrooms. Now, the Heritage Foundation, this is the body that have put out the Freedom of Information request, they're alleging that Prince Harry may have concealed past illegal drug use that should, they say, have disqualified him from obtaining a US visa. Here to actually unpick this and explain it for us is Sarah Hewson, the royal correspondent. Sarah, good morning.
Morning to you, Rosie.
So tell us what Prince Harry has to make public today.
Well, yes, as you say, it's a complicated case. It's been going on for more than a year now since the Heritage Foundation brought this Freedom of Information request against the Department for Homeland Security. And after the publication of Harry's book, Spare, they wanted to know whether he had been honest on his visa application form when he entered the United States. Did he admit to past drug use, or Did he lie? If he did admit it on the form, was he given special differential treatment by the Biden administration because of who he was? Now, in September of last year, it was ruled that Prince Harry had the right to privacy and that his visa records should remain private. But then the Heritage Foundation appealed that. There was a court hearing in February of this year, and that was the first under the Trump administration. And after that, it was ruled by the judge that his visa records could be made public, and that needs to be done by tomorrow at the latest. Now, I think they're likely to be heavily redacted, Rosie, so it's not quite clear yet how much we will see from his visa records, but certainly this is a big victory for the Heritage Foundation, who have been trying to get this transparency for some time now. What it means for Prince Harry, well, that's not really clear at this stage. We've had, as you might imagine, various conflicting statements from President Trump. In March last year, he told Nigel Farage that he wouldn't be giving Prince Harry any easy ride. Why should he? Because he'd betrayed his grandmother. But then earlier this year, he said, look, I'm not going to go after Prince Harry. He's got enough troubles of his own with that wife. She's terrible. We know there's no love lost between Meghan and President Trump. She's described him as divisive and misogynistic. So it remains to be seen what we will see from these visa records, and indeed what the reaction will be from President Trump. The other question, Rosie, is what kind of visa he is on, because there is some suggestion that he's actually on an A1 head of state visa as a member of the royal family and as the son of the king, in which case he would have had lower security background checks.
OK, and then maybe wouldn't have to have declared that answer. You wonder, Sarah, when he wrote that in the book Spare, maybe was he ill-advised? That was, this is sort of a bit of an own goal for Harry. He created this situation.
Yeah, he really opened up this can of worms, didn't he, by admitting to this drug use, as you mentioned, cocaine, marijuana, taking psychedelic mushrooms when he was at Courtney Cox's house. He went into a lot of detail about previous drug use. And of course, it made headlines at the time, but it opened up this case and it allowed the Heritage Foundation to bring these proceedings, which have been going backwards and forwards now, as I said, for more than a year. And in the next 24 hours or so, it will be very interesting indeed.
Yeah, and you also wonder kind of what's motivating the Heritage Foundation to go after him like this so much. I'm not sort of expressing any sympathy, but...
Yeah, I think Prince Harry was the kind of headline of this, but actually it was the Heritage Foundation versus the Biden administration, whether the Biden administration had gone easy on
turned
Prince
a blind eye, yeah.
Yeah.
So because it could be that Harry was completely honest and Homeland Security sort of said, OK, never mind, or he lied. Yeah, OK. There's other royal news today. It's St Patrick's Day today. I know lots of people will be celebrating. All eyes will be on Kate. Tell us what she's up to.
Yes, the Princess of Wales is Colonel of the Irish Guards Regiment, and as such, she will be joining them for their St Patrick's Day celebrations at Wellington Barracks in London. She will be presenting the traditional sprigs of shamrock to the officers and guardsmen and to the Irish Guards regimental mascot, the Irish wolfhound Seamus, who you may have seen on many a parade, trooping the colour, for example. And she has been a colonel of the Irish Guards since 2023, when she took over from her husband, Prince William. But last year, she couldn't attend these celebrations because if you think back to where we were last year, she was just a week away from revealing her cancer diagnosis. We were at the peak of the Where is Kate conspiracy theories, and she had to send her apologies to them. So they will be delighted to welcome her back. Today is always a really fun day in the royal calendar. There'll be a toast with some Guinness as well for the Princess of Wales.
Sarah, thank you so much. Sarah Hewson, the royal correspondent, taking us through a lot of royal news, and we'll see some form of those immigration files redacted on.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad, where we break down the truth and shut down the noise surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. If you're tired of the smear campaigns, the twisted headlines and the never-ending attacks, then you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Once again, the British tabloids and their so-called royal experts are at it, obsessing over Harry and Meghan while trying to convince the world that the Sussexes are irrelevant. How does that work? If they're so irrelevant, why can't the media stop talking about them? Let's be real. Harry and Meghan are living their best lives, thriving in their projects and using their platform for good. Meanwhile, the press is still bitter that they walked away from the toxicity of the royal institution. The Sussexes have shown time and time again that they don't need royal title to make an impact. Whether it's through Archewell's humanitarian work, Harry's leadership with the Invictus Games, or Meghan's advocacy for women's empowerment, their influence speaks for itself. Yet instead of focusing on real royal issues like, say, the monarchy's PR disasters, the media is running out of talking points, recycling old narratives and fabricating new ones just to keep Harry and Meghan in the headlines. But here's the truth. The Sussexes are winning. They have their freedom, their family, and a global community of supporters who stand by them. So let's keep supporting them, keep shutting down the lies, and keep celebrating their success. If you love seeing Harry and Meghan live their best lives, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Royal Sussex Squad. And if you want to support the channel, you can donate via Super Thanks. Every contribution helps us continue bringing you the truth. Until next time, stay positive and keep the Sussex love strong.